welcome to this boat project. It's not exactly a project, but you know, stuff happens to old boats and somebody has to fix them. Today I'm gonna perform a cold start on this old boat. It's a Volvo Penta MD11C 2-cylinder diesel. It's a 24 horse unit, and I'm gonna take it for a little cruise. Now, this engine has a starting procedure. It's not necessary, but it is probably easier on the engine. To put the throttle into neutral and give it some wheeling. We are going to find our engine. We are going to find our cold start button. It's been pushed, and we are going to close up the hood and crack the engine over. Yes. So now it's just a case of let the engine warm up. Yeah, it's getting there.
Yes, so welcome to this autumn cruise. Oh, this is nice. Yeah. Quiet now. Yes. So it's autumn here, and it's time to, you know, get some boat project done, I guess. Thing is, winter is coming, and the fjords here they just freeze over. So we have to put our boats on the hard, and that's what I'm gonna do. But I have some projects. So we're back again. It's been a couple of weeks. It's getting colder, and it's time for some winterizing. I just finished emptying out my freshwater tank, so that's just finished draining. I have to empty it all the way, so I'm going to pump the rest of the water out. And I've actually done some work. I've fixed the windshield wipers. They were actually not working, and it was a silly mistake by me. When I rewired some of the electricals and the instrument panel this spring, I managed to relocate the wire, the positive wire, going from the switch to the motors in some silly place, so it didn't actually work. Yeah, and this Saturday it is haul out day, so I'm going to put this fine old machine onto its trailer and haul out. This is one of the old windshield wiper motors. Is actually, yeah, you can see it's quite old. And the gears inside of it was actually broken, I think in 3 pieces, and I I glued them together. It was just to get it to work, and I've since that bought a new one, that I'm going to put in its place. And this, yeah, you can listen to this. Yeah. Can you imagine listening to that for hours and hours on a rainy day out on the water? Yeah, it's not good. And on the starboard side, I've actually swapped this out for I think it's a Land Rover unit, or a copy of one. This is plastic, and it has a switch, so it's yeah, self-parking. So to get the other one, it's not currently self-parking because I'm missing the ground wire that controls the self-parking circuit. So I'm going to fix that when I install the new motor. Yeah, but this is much, well, yeah. I think we have enough of that. I can show you some of the things that I did last spring and during the winter. We painted the engine, and I made a new instrument panel, and stained that and gave it some, I think, 10 coats of varnish. and I swapped out the switch panel. The old instrument panel or dashboard had just some generic old switches that you just flick up and down, and they look quite cheap. Not that this is much more expensive, but I think it looks a bit more nice, you might say. Yeah, so this is how this looks in its current state. I also made this kind of kitchen area. This was really sunburned. You can see the difference in color, and that sink was actually underneath the stove, and the stove was conveniently mounted right there, upside down. And this is didn't quite work, and the sink was mounted underneath here. Yeah, so it wasn't a good layout. I made this is going to be painted white, all of this, and I'm going to, there's a room underneath here between the engine room and this this flooring here, so I'm going to yeah, make a cupboard of sorts out of that, just for some extra storage. So it's working much better now. I also, this boat had you know, some old faucets, like the pumping variety, and I installed this electric one. Yeah. And I've put the pump underneath the sole there for the floors. So, and like I said, I painted the engine. It's nice and green now, and yeah, it's held up nicely. I need to do something about the alternator though, because that is not liking the salt water in this, you know, without paint on it. But yeah, that's a project for another day. And this boat needs a clean. It's been a hard summer for her. Now we are going to take my buddy's boats out for just a short trip. He's also in the process of winterizing his boat, and it needs to, he has drained all his antifreeze and put a new one in, and we are going to take it out just to, you know, see that the thermostat opens and everything is hunky-dory. Let's see if we can get some more out of it. This is my 12-volt wet and dry. So that's the freshwater done. That was quite dirt in there. A lot of dust and stuff, so I really need to, well, I obviously don't drink from that tank. That is not a drinking water tank, it's just like I use it for you know, washing up dishes and maybe some coffee making, but I will always boil the water first. This is because this boat was, like I probably mentioned, this boat was stored in a barn for at least 10 years. So I don't know anything about, you know, if they wash this tank anytime or if they clean it ever. So it just looks kind of nasty, and yeah, I really have to do something about that before I can actually drink it. But eventually I will. I know you can get some pills, like a purifier type stuff that you can you know, have in the water tank, and you obviously have a lot of filters and stuff you can use. But yeah, that is a project for another day. So I'm here and I have a bottle of antifreeze, so I'm going to pour some of that into the head, and yeah, let's do that. So that was that. Yeah, we're just going to put the bed away. This is my bunk. Like so. That's good enough. I'm going to empty out this vault for I mean all the pillows and mattresses and towels and stuff like that is going to be stored indoors at home. So that is that. Yeah, let's see what else. This is also an area of that needs some attention. Welcome to my bilge. This is also an area where I am going to do a bit of cleaning. I really don't like this grime and grease and stuff. I mean, it's quite okay now. When I bought the boat, there were at least 10 centimeters or yeah, thereabouts with oil and water and like really dirty bilge water down here. But that was one of the things I did last year. I really cleaned that out and I washed the whole bilge, but I didn't got the time to paint it. So, but there's still a lot of grease and grime and stuff like that left here. So I don't know if I've told a story about this boat. I bought her last year in July, and she was stored inside a barn for about 10 years. The previous owners didn't use her much, so she was used every once in a while. I think the year before I bought the boat, they actually just used her once, and the year before that she never even got to see water. So they told me they were farmers, so they really didn't have the time to use it, so that's why they sold her. And I came along and I bought her. But there was a lot of stuff that needed to be done. The engine was very rusty and grimy. I think they never did much maintenance other than the most necessary ones, like your oil filters and oil change and stuff like that. So I installed a new sea strainer. I descaled and sanded and painted the engine. I cleaned the bilge like I told you. Yeah, and I obviously redid most of the electrics, installed depth sounder, and yeah, really just cleaned it up some. I also installed a diesel heater. So early in the spring and like in the fall, it's kind of can get quite cold. So I really need some heat source that was easy to install and cheap. So that's why I have a 2 kilowatt diesel heater. Besides installing the diesel heater, I also had to completely clean out the diesel tank and the fuel system. The diesel water separator or the water separator was actually so full of water that there were hardly any diesel in it at all. The diesel filter had completely dissolved, and there was mostly water in that cup too. So I was kind of amazed that the engine actually ran. I don't think it shouldn't have, but it did. Because I used the boat from when I bought it in mid-July to I think 3rd of October. last year, and it didn't skip a beat. While I was painting the engine, I realized that the exhaust fan was leaking. It had some cracks in it, and I decided to search for a new one. I ended up with ordering a stainless steel one from HDI Marine. That was a great upgrade. Yeah, so that's also been taken care of.